Hey Killer Bees, it's Pahla B from PahlaBFitness.com, and on tap today it's The Buzz, where we're talking about fitness mindset matters, because your fitness mindset totally matters. And you guys, I know you are inundated every single day with lists of all the things that you have to do in order to be fit and healthy, but today I've come up with a list of 8 things you do not have to do to live a healthy life. But of course there's also one thing that you absolutely must do too, and it's all coming up. So you guys, I'm gonna blame the internet for this one. You know what? We have 24/7 access to all these articles and all these images and all these people telling us constantly, the fitness gurus who are always like, oh, you have to do this and you have to do that, and all these ideas of what it means to be fit and healthy. And I want you to know that there are a lot of different ways to be fit and healthy. And in spite of a lot of opinion to the contrary, there are quite a few things that you don't have to do in order to live a fit and healthy life. Number 1, you do not have to get up at 5 a.m. to work out every day. And you know what? That might surprise you a little bit, because I know a lot of people who do, but the fact is, if getting up at 5 a.m. does not suit your schedule, does not suit your temperament, does not suit you, there is absolutely no reason at all why you have to. Yes, a lot of fit people do wake up early and they get their workout done. I happen to wake up very early. I like to get my workout done, but that works for me because it fits into my schedule. It fits into my day. It fits into my temperament. If working out at a different time of day works for you, then you absolutely do not need to set an alarm for an early morning wake-up call. Another thing that you do not have to do is you do not have to give up sugar. I know that one probably surprises you too. Lately we hear all the time about how sugar is the devil and sugar is the reason for belly fat and sugar, sugar, sugar. Well, here's the thing. If that sounds like something that you would never in a million years be able to do, then you don't have to. You are welcome to cut back on sugar, to pay attention to sugar, to think about how much sugar you're eating, but you don't have to cut it out completely in order to live a fit and healthy life. Now, for some people, it does work better that way. I actually know quite a few people who have been completely successful by really, truly just cutting it out completely. I mean, it's like going to AA or something where it really is an all or nothing sort of a thing, where a little bit is never enough. They can't do sugar in moderation. But if it happens for you to be the sort of thing where you can sometimes have sugar and sometimes not have sugar, then you don't have to feel like you have to cut it out completely. The fact is, our bodies do use sugar for energy. So if you are capable of doing things in moderation, don't feel like you have to give it up completely. Something else that you don't have to do is you don't have to become a vegan. This is another thing that I keep hearing about all the time lately. It's this thing where we get this idea that you basically have to have a label or a name or a style of eating in order to be healthy. A lot of different camps promote their way of eating, like eating vegan or eating paleo. I just happen to use vegan as the one. But you don't have to follow any food plan, vegan specifically, but you don't have to follow any food plan in order to be fit and healthy. Now, for some people, being vegan totally is the way to go. Like, their bodies feel better, they feel better, morally about not eating animal products and things like that. But if that sounds like something that doesn't fit into your lifestyle or something that you would like to do, you don't have to. There are lots of different ways to eat, and most of them don't even have a name, that might work best for you. The trick is to figure out what works best for you. If eating less meat feels good for you, then eat less meat. If eating more meat feels good for you, then eat more meat. But don't feel like you have to fall into one category or another in order to be fit and healthy. Something else you don't have to do, you do not have to run marathons. I know we have this idea that marathon runners are like, the pinnacle of success for being fit and healthy, but I will tell you, I actually know some marathoners who are otherwise, they've done 1 or 2 or 3 or even 4 or 5, who are otherwise very sedentary, who actually still have real crap eating habits, who didn't even lose any weight while they were training for or after they did marathons. That's not necessarily the pinnacle of fit and healthiness. So if it doesn't work for you to run a marathon, you don't have to. You can either run or not run. I personally happen to love running. I think it's a great way to stay fit and healthy. But if it doesn't suit your style of what you want to do, your temperament, your desires, you don't have to run marathons to be fit and healthy. Another thing you don't have to do meal prep. Did you know that? I know, if you have an Instagram account, you probably thought, following basically any fitness account out there, that you have to do meal prep, that Sunday equals meal prep. I will tell you that if that doesn't work for your temperament and doesn't fit into your lifestyle, you can absolutely be fit and healthy without doing meal prep. I actually do not do meal prep. For whatever reason, it bugs me. It's one of those things where as soon as I have it all prepped up and ready to go, I feel very confined that I have to eat what I have just prepped, and call it the contrariness in me. I don't like it. It doesn't make me feel satisfied or ready or happy in any way to have my week's worth of meal prepped and planned the Sunday before. So if you don't like to do that, if it doesn't make you feel good, if it doesn't check that box on your to-do list, you totally don't have to. Now, you do want to be maybe mentally prepped so that you're not making last-minute decisions, because that is where we sometimes, once you've gotten hungry or hangry, that is where we can make bad choices. But if you're capable of making some decisions a little bit closer to time, but maybe not 3 days out, you don't have to meal prep to live a fit and healthy life. The other thing you don't have to do, you do not have to count every single calorie or macro that you put in your mouth. Did you know that? That's another popular one. I see a lot of fitness accounts talking about their calories, talking about their macros. I have to tell you, this is another one of those contrariness things for me. I can't stand counting it up. As much as I love data, I love numbers, I do occasionally track what I've eaten on one day just to kind of make sure that I'm still in the ballpark of where I think I want to be. But on the daily, it bugs me to try and count my calories. It makes me feel very restricted, very limited. But this also falls under one of those categories like sugar. If you are not capable of moderating yourself and paying attention to what you're eating without tracking every single thing, then of course you should. And that might make you feel better, like you're in control, like you're making the right decisions. Either way you go, it's up to you what works for your lifestyle and what works for your mentality as to whether or not counting calories works for you. But you don't have to. And the very last thing that I've got on this list of the 8 things that you do not have to do to live a fit and healthy life, you do not have to lift Olympic-sized weights. I know, crazy, right? There's all this talk lately about how you have to lift heavy, you have to go big, and that light weights aren't doing you any good, and you have to build muscle, and blah, blah, blah. And I will tell you that if that's not something that you're interested in doing, and not just because of the myth of, oh, I don't want to bulk up. If you're a woman, you're not going to bulk up. I mean, big weights, little weights, whatever. It's going to take so much effort to put on muscle. You have no idea that it's not about the bulking thing. It's about whether or not it fits into your lifestyle. I mean, literally, do you have room in your house for ginormous weights? Do you have access to a gym where you can lift big weights? Is it something that makes you feel happy? Is that a goal you would set for yourself? You can probably see where I'm going with this one. I don't love lifting big weights. For me, I get my competitiveness out and my intensity out with other kinds of activities. Big, heavy weights don't appeal to me. It's not something that I'm interested in doing. And you can live a fit and healthy life by lifting smaller weights. You can live a fit and healthy life by lifting only your body weight. Now, obviously, I am a proponent of doing some kind of strength training. It is good for your bones. It is good for your lean muscles. It will help you lose weight. There's lots of good reasons to do strength training, but you don't have to lift big weights to live a fit and healthy life. So you're probably wondering, okay, what's the one thing that I have to do? I know you've been waiting this whole list. What is the one thing that I have to do to live a fit and healthy life? I know you've already seen this one coming. You have to do what works for you. You know what? Take a look around you at the internet and the people that you know and the advice that you've been given and decide what works for you. Because you know what? When you're making decisions based on what makes you happy, what fits into your lifestyle, changes that you're actually willing to make and live with and can do consistently, that is the fittest and healthiest that you can be in your body and, better yet, in your mind. You guys, I hope that this was helpful for you today. I hope that I was able to bust some fitness myths for you. And I'm wondering, what is it that you've been telling yourself, oh my gosh, I have to do this to be fit and healthy, that now you're thinking, hey, you know what? I don't want to. That doesn't work for me. I would love to hear your list of things that you realize you no longer have to do. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week on The Buzz.